Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and of course my sidekick here, Andrew.
Good morning.
And we used to tell everybody from KSLO listening, hello, good morning, and all that. But
Feliz Navidad.
Yep,
Merry
lost.
Christmas.
We've lost that particular station, and I'm going to talk to Chuck Wood, the general manager, and see. We, as a nation. You hear from time to time that a lot of these Spanish workers come into the country and they don't try to learn the English language, and they criticize for that. Why not have the Bobby Dupre Show on, and our friends that have been listening to the KSLO Bobby Dupre Show could continue listening to the show, and at the same time the Spanish people could find out what's going on. Most of them know some English, so it would not be a total loss to them, believe me.
I learned English listening to Cody Dupre on television as a kid, so that's why I got the accent I have today.
Oh, Mr. Cody, good morning,
Brother
Cody.
Cody.
And Wilda. Yes, see y'all Sunday night at the dinner.
I couldn't resist that, but it's true.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we would do like we were Cody, selling the products on Canal.
On Canal, Economical.
There you go.
Scrapbook, the Monday's edition in the sports section of the Daily Advertiser, the Backstreet Boxing Club received top honors at the recent Southern Association Year Award ceremony. The honorees were Coach Shelton LeBlanc, and boy, I go back way back.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I saw last night? I was over at Prejean's restaurant, and Darryl Savoy, who boxed with Shelton the same time. He's now the night chef over there.
Really?
He's come up from being a busboy all the way to a chef. So proud of you, and so proud of all these guys. They've all done real well. I remember when he talked last night of us winning the Sugar Ray Leonard tournament in Des Moines, Iowa. And I remember I purchased a Walkman radio for all the team members.
There you go.
Remember that well, and he remembered it well. Anyhow, that's how far I go back. And then the boxer Nicholas Felix and Coach Damon Arsenault. Felix was recognized as the 2012 Open Boxer of the Year and the 2012 Mr. Louisiana, while LeBlanc was honored as the 2012 Open Coach of the Year. So good to see that they're getting good recognition. And you have another young man who has gotten a lot of recognition in recent months.
I do. It's
Jesse Fletcher.
There you go, Jesse Fletcher, right here. Go ahead. You got me there, Steve? There we are. Excellent. And he just won the Silver Gloves championship, and we got a couple of photos of him, with the win. But there he is, boxing and throwing those punches. I mean, he really, he was doing a job on his opponent. But we want to congratulate him for doing such a great job as well.
And all the boxers, and I tell you, I watched and it was real late, and I kept wanting to turn it off, but it was so interested. Gil Guillory. There was a documentary type, it was an hour and a half program on Showtime. That must have been Monday night from maybe 11 to 12:30, and it was real good, Gil, and it featured Top, our chairman of the Louisiana State Boxing Commission,
Mr.
wrestling, Top. Alvin Topham, better known as Top in the industry. It had Russell, one of our referees, and also he is also one of our deputy commissioners. It had Gil. It had a lot of the boxers. It had Bob, the TV man at Channel 10, Bob, Bob Moore.
Bob Moore.
Bob Moore.
I always want to say Bob en français.
Bob en français. Il parle français bien bon.
Correct. That's right. Very well.
Ils sont pas comme un homme qui parler français, mais il parle un tas meilleur que moi. Mais moi, je comprends quelque chose et en tout le temps parle quelques mots quand on se voit les deux when we meet.
Right.
Anyhow, it was a real good one. If y'all get a chance, kind of go through, scroll through, and I'm sure it's going to replay again.
How about this? You know, I'd like to talk about the hotel at the Evangeline Downs, Evangeline Downs Hotel. They're doing something to share the spirit of Christmas. For December 24th and 25th, that's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, they've got a handful of rooms available for people that are having problems getting to this area, trying to get here to see families. There's just going to be a couple of rooms that they're going to try to provide for free. You know, if there's some availability, they're going to try to help some people come down. If you want to give them a call, 407-2121. If you know of someone in dire need that's trying to come home, they can provide a room for the night.
I want to compliment, I guess that was the Daily Advertiser, Sunday's edition of the Daily Advertiser. University of Louisiana, a bold extra. In other words, this was a magazine that they published. And there was an article about a young man by the name of Harry Peoples. He's from Mississippi, and he was raised, he was suddenly moved by his father to a home that was owned by Miss Lily Flowers, and she had 3 children of her own, and of course Harry had a sister and 2 brothers, I think it was.
So they had a big family. A
big family. She took them all in, and he said it was a sudden love between he and Miss Flowers. And she kept telling him how good he could be. And he was struggling with that. And then all of a sudden he started participating in some sports. He was encouraged. And there was a couple, and I'm sorry I'm not looking at the name, but there was a couple that took him, a coach and his wife took him under the wing. And they started giving him encouragement and making sure that he did better in school. He didn't like school a whole lot, but to participate in sports, you have to make a C, basically a C average on your grade point average. And he struggled with that for a while. Then he started seeing that yes, he could be good in athletics, and he found out he could learn too with just a little bit more effort. And this particular lady would go to the games. She attended all his games. And she would go, and when he'd run into a little problem, they'd get together. She'd walk down, and she'd give him some advice. He'd say to himself, how does she know all of this about sports? I didn't realize ladies could know so much about sports. And she'd simply, most of the time, just ask him, do you realize the error you just made? And he'd say, yes. Well, she says, go correct it. And you know, that's simple advice, and maybe we should do more of that amongst ourselves. But he got to loving this lady, and she didn't get to see him, if I remember right in the article. It's about a 4-page article. And I don't think she got to see him graduate from high school, but here he is. He came, the coach and his wife brought him to UL. They had actually, Alabama and some of the big teams were looking at him, but his grades, so he had to go to a junior college first. He did well there. And that you see in more and more of that, where they qualified themselves for the big schools, the class, what, one. And what UL is a class 1 school. Oh yeah, big time. And anyhow, it's very, very interesting. He is their leading receiver this year. Right. So, and that's kind of closing it out. I'm sorry, I guess I should have made myself some notes, but I read the whole thing, and I ask you, if you have that copy around your house, I'm sure you'd be interested in reading it, and you'd enjoy it too. And we want to say,
he's a senior on the team this year. So
yeah, that's it. That's going to be his last game. And hopefully we see him on Sundays. Do you know what I mean when I say that? When he and I joke about seeing you on Sunday, that means he's going to the NFL.
That's right. That's right. Show this picture here. If you can kick that on for us. You got it on? Let's talk about the Apples Area Cerebral Palsy Clinic. You know, it's right now, it's Christmas time. We're still having our fund drive. If you can help us with Breakfast with Santa, send a check to P.O. Box 70, Opelousas, Louisiana, 70571. Make it out to Cerebral Palsy Clinic or Breakfast with Santa. Either one is fine. But right here, we talked a little bit about the Tootsie Roll drive the KCs were having. This photo right here is them giving the donation to the Opelousas Area Cerebral Palsy Clinic. And you can see from the left, Jose Armesto, Kenneth Thibodeau, director from the clinic, Miss Lynn Morrow. You see the Grand Knight, Jared Norman, Keith Norman, Bernard Gilbert, Larry Morrow, and Mr. Dalton Como, who I believe is 92, just had heart surgery. He told me, he says, I'm starting to get back stronger. I'm only walking a mile a day right now. He says, but I'm going to get better. So you can imagine he's doing well. I want to thank them for all the help for the Opelousas Area Cerebral Palsy
I have
Clinic.
a gentleman that I met at Beauchamp truck stop on, must have been Monday. It was Monday. He saw me having lunch and walked over.
Give me a hint.
And I have a picture of
I don't know.
myself and one gentleman.
You have him in the photo.
Yep, I sure do. That was one of the last photos that I took.
All right. We'll have to come back to it because I'm just not... Oh, here.
There
Yeah,
it
bingo.
is right
Got
there.
it.
There you go.
Got it.
That is Mr. Nolan Savoie. Grand Coteau, Sunset, but I think his home is in Grand Coteau, but between the two, very, very close. He's like 91.
Wow.
And he walked over from, if you're looking at the picture on television, that's about the only, or your computer, or your cell phone, where you see those pictures way on that back wall, that's where he was sitting, way back there. He came over and he says, I never thought I'd get to see you in person. Now, you know, that made me feel mighty darn good. He had been listening to me on radio for years, and then, of course, since I'm on television, and he went on to tell me, he's 90 years old, I'm sorry, 90 years young, I might add.
Right.
Still goes fishing. His son Kenny takes him fishing. He has a big fishing boat. His son has a fishing boat. They go offshore. I mean, still hunts. Can you imagine? He doesn't drive. He has a lady that drives him and takes care of his house needs and all of that. And just I really enjoyed my visit. I mean, look how young looking he is.
He's in good mood.
Good health, little struggle to walk. He uses a cane, but I'm sure you could throw that away or beat you on the head with it good if you got out of line. But Mr. Nolan, thank you so much. You made my day. Also at this next table was Mike Leger and Tommy Dejon, and I complimented Tommy for keeping up the tradition of the sugar cane harvesting and then the syrup cooking and making, and he said that you cooked them a good jambalaya. I said, he keeps telling me that for the last 25 years. I never ate none of his food yet.
You got to come cut cane. That's what you got to do.
And do they use a particular type of cane for this?
We tend to use the old ribbon cane syrup. That's that old dark colored cane is what we tend to use. But we've used the more modern green cane as well. But the majority of the time it's that dark old-time cane.
And also Miss Dolores, the waitress there for many years, was there, and I got to talk to her. I had inquired about her the last time I was there about 2 weeks ago, and she was not at work at that time. She said, well, you sure I'm still here? I'm not leaving y'all this quick. So anyhow, good visit. And they did call Mike and tell Mike that I was doing business there. Mike Artigo. Good morning to you, Mike.
How about
the Artigo family, my cousins.
How about we talk about Casa Ole? If you want to go down and enjoy good Mexican cuisine here in Opelousas, Casa Ole, right off the service road next to the Walmart. Very good Mexican food with everything from your burritos to your fajitas.
This will probably be the last time we talk about them because they sold.
That's what I understand.
I was called today by Frankie, and but it's going to be a Mexican restaurant.
Correct.
It's a name that it must be a chain.
Right. Very good Mexican food, great margaritas go by.
And we want to thank the owners of the Casa Ole for not only our show sponsorship here, but also the television Swamp and Roll that they have let us tape there for several years.
Folks, we're going to see you on the other side of 1 minute.